pop culture city, and the revolution of the city is absolutely rooted in that. It's a fundamental part of what makes this the most invigorating and essential place to live. Manchester is the engine room of British music. Even back in the 19th century, the German immigrants in the city complained that the locals preferred to sing popular, contemporary songs rather than listen to the purities of classical music. Manchester is always looking forward. London may have most of the business, but it is Manchester that, more than any other city in the UK, defines the musical direction of the country. I don't think we've been able to throw parties and raves in disused breweries, air raid shelters and train stations in any other city. The Warehouse Project in particular is inherently Mancunian. It could only happen here. This is a city where you can reinvent yourself. You can be who you want in Manchester. This is the city where Morrissey met Ma, Jack met Vera, and Bobby met George and Dennis. It's where Engels met Marx and Rolls met Royce. It's a place where you can make things happen. It's a fascinating, inventive, groundbreaking city that's always moving and makes you feel part of that movement, not a bystander. It's a true city of the people, an egalitarian city, not one based on old money. There's very little old money in Manchester. This was the world's first industrial modern city and the world's first post-industrial city. In the words of Tony Walsh's poem, this is the place. This is the place to do business then dance, where go-getters and go-setters know they have a chance. There's always been the case ever since the Industrial Revolution. Back in 1912, Sir Edward Abbott Parry wrote, "Manchester is the place where people do things. Don't talk about what you're doing, just do it. That is the Manchester habit." And in the past, through the manifestation of this quality, the word Manchester became a synonym for energy and freedom, and the right to do and to think without shackles. The writer Anthony Burgess, admittedly biased after being born in the city's Harper Hay district, recalled in his autobiography Little Wilson and Big God, how for a Mancunian to visit London before the Second World War was an exercise in condescension. London was a day behind Manchester, in the arts, in the commercial cunning, in economic philosophy. I'd still agree with that now. I went from selling leather jackets on a market stall to promoting my first student club night. That's the old saying, you've got to see it to believe it. Noel Gallagher said when he first heard Sally Cinnamon by the Stone Roses, it was a real light bulb moment. He just knew straight away, I can do that, I can write songs like that. When I first started going to club nights, I thought, I can do this. I can't DJ or be the singer of a band on stage, but I know I can put the actual night on. I can be a promoter. I was just a normal kid growing up. I wasn't a tearaway. I'd never been in trouble or met anyone who was a member of a gang. The only gangsters I seen were in Goodfellas, so my first year putting on club nights in Manchester was a wake-up call. We'll get to that later, but there were some hairy moments. This city was lawless for a long time in the 1990s. A lot of people are driven on by their childhoods or their relationships with their parents. And I guess I am too. I had a difficult relationship with my dad, who a lot of the time made me feel I'd never amount to much. And I think subconsciously that's pushed me on to prove him wrong. I also watched him make a bit of a mess of his life. I was determined the same thing wouldn't happen to me. I still get imposter syndrome, and even though I'm not ashamed to say I've done all right for myself, from living in a grotty Salford bedsit, I now live in leafy South Manchester and I get to hang out with the iconic music heroes backstage. But there's a nagging part of me that says, you shouldn't be here. You shouldn't be running the biggest nightclub in the world and one of the biggest festivals in the UK, and advising the Mayor of Greater Manchester. You should still be on the market stall flogging knockoff leather jackets. This is not a memoir. It's more my view on the rebirth of a city and the musical revolution over the last 30 years, and how I was lucky enough to be part of that. Luck has played a huge part in shaping my story, although I've worked bloody hard as well. I think you need both to achieve something. Some people work their bloody bollocks off all their lives, and they don't get dealt much luck. Some people get dealt amazing luck, but perhaps only realise with hindsight and don't put the effort in to make the most of it. I think I had two major slices of luck. The first one was to be born in Manchester, an incredible city to be who you want to be, where you can write your own story. The second was I was born when I was, to be around when the acid house explosion changed